What if a single photograph could completely distort the way the world sees a person? Not just their image, but their identity, their career, even their dignity. That is exactly the kind of storm that surrounds headlines like this one about Adrianne Palicki, where curiosity is sparked instantly, but truth often gets lost in the noise. Before you assume anything about what you're about to hear, there is something important you should know. This is not a story about exposure or scandal. It's a story about perception, aging in Hollywood, and how one image, taken, shared, and interpreted out of context, can turn into a narrative that says more about society than the person in the frame. At 42, Adrianne Palicki stands in a very different place than she did when she first entered Hollywood. You might remember her from powerful roles in television and film, where she often portrayed characters defined by strength, resilience, and emotional depth. But what most people never see is what happens between those roles. The pressure, the expectations, and the constant scrutiny that comes with being a woman in the public eye. Now think about this for a moment. Why does a simple photograph carry so much weight when it involves someone famous? Why does the internet so quickly turn confidence into controversy and natural aging into something to be analyzed and judged? As the headline suggests, proof in picture, the reality is far less dramatic than the internet makes it seem. What often circulates online as shocking or revealing is usually just a carefully framed moment, stripped of context and amplified by speculation. In Adrianne Palicki's case, much of the conversation reflects less about her and more about how society views women who refuse to disappear quietly with age. Hollywood has always had a complicated relationship with time. Youth is celebrated, but maturity is often questioned. And for actresses like Palicki, who built careers on strength and authenticity, there comes a point where control over narrative becomes just as important as the roles themselves. Have you ever wondered how exhausting it must be to constantly be seen, but rarely understood? Behind the headlines, there is a quieter truth. A woman who has navigated intense roles, public expectations, and personal evolution. Someone who, like many in her position, learns that confidence is not about avoiding scrutiny, but about standing firm when it arrives without invitation. The emotional conflict here is not the image itself, it's the reaction to it. It's how quickly admiration can shift into judgment, and how easily curiosity can turn into invasion. But if you look closer, the real story is about resilience, about choosing not to be defined by a single moment, a single frame, or a single interpretation. And this is where the deeper meaning begins to surface. Because what does it say about us when we reduce a person's entire journey to one photograph? What are we really searching for when we click, zoom, and speculate? The truth is simple, but powerful. No image can fully capture a human life. Not the struggles, not the growth, not the quiet strength it takes to keep going while the world forms opinions from a distance. And maybe that is the lesson hidden inside the story. That real confidence is not about what is seen, but about what remains unchanged within you, no matter how loudly the world tries to define it.